We get we get asked quite often, what do you actually do when you arrive? What am I paying my money for? Well, the first thing we'll do when we arrive is talk to you, and you tell us what you've seen, what you've heard, when you've heard it, what times, so we can build up a picture as to what's going on. We'll then do a survey of the premises ourselves. We'll look around uh, using our torches. We get into little areas and gaps that we know the mice and rats will use, and try and establish how far the problem spread, and how many rats or mice potentially that we're dealing with. After that, we decide on the best course of action. Usually we'll use a rodenticide, a poison. Um, Poisons are the quickest way of dealing with a problem, and most people want the problem sorted out quickly and effectively. The choice of poisons quite important. The West Midlands and Birmingham area are well known for resistance in rodents. The mice and rats have basically become um, resistant to the poisons, and if the wrong poison is being used, you're effectively feeding them. So we choose the right poison for the right area. A lot of people worry about pets and children. Uh, we worry about them as well, but we put the poisons in places where they're not going to be accessible to children and pets. That doesn't mean to say you have to keep your eye on things. It's always important that you know where the poison is, so you can be vigilant. Children are very inquisitive, and never underestimate them. The poisons we use contain a substance called Bitrex. Bitrex is a bitter tasting substance, the bitterest substance known to man, and that's deliberately added to our rodenticides by the manufacturers, so that if an animal or a child did put some of this rodenticide in their mouth, they would immediately spit it out because it's so bitter. We also leave instructions on the antidote to any of our poisons, which are the same. It's vitamin K1 is the antidote. So if you do think there's been a problem and your child swallowed a poison, then vitamin K1 is the antidote. All doctors and hospitals know this. So again, if the worst should happen, it's easily treatable. After we've placed the poisons down, we usually leave it for about a week to 10 days before we come back. This gives the mice or the rats time to find the bait and eat it. Rats in particular are very wary of new things and will avoid new things. So we have to give them time to sort of grow accustomed to it and eat it. It takes a few days to take effect, and usually we find a week is long enough to determine what's happening. So on the second visit, we come around and we'll check what we've put down, see what's been eaten in what areas, and we'll also use other things like tracking dust, which enables us to work out where the rodents are moving around. We use an ultraviolet torch, and the mice and rats leave footprints around the area, and we can follow them with the ultraviolet torch. So we may add bait, we may remove it, we may change the container it's in, we may change the bait if necessary, and we'll also be speaking to you, see what you're hearing and what you're seeing, to make sure that what we're doing is having an effect. So after another week we come back, and at this stage we're really looking to make sure the problem's been sorted, and usually on the third visit we find that the problem has been sorted and that there's no further activity. On our visit we're looking for any dead rodents, if there's any mice or rats around, we'll pick them up and dispose of them. Fortunately, a lot of the rats and mice will make their way outside the building and die there, so you're not left with nasty smells. But occasionally it does happen and things die inside your building. In that case, we'll look for the carcass and we'll try and remove it if possible. If we can't, for example if it's in a cavity wall, then we've got methods that we can use and products to get rid of the smell. Not just a deodorant, it's a absorbent bag or material which removes the nasty smells and makes sure that you can still live in your house without a horrible smell. The third visit is also the time when we're looking to block holes up. Now, any holes that we find and we think are being used by mice to gain access to your premises, we will try and block up. We're not builders and we can't do major building works, but we will use cement, wire wool, wire mesh to block up holes, and usually we can sort most problems out. Every now and again there's something major that requires work. During our investigation we will always look around the premises and look for damage that rats and mice have caused. The most common one is wiring damage in lofts and roof spaces. If we find this, we'll let you know so that you can call an electrician to make sure your premises is safe. So that's an oversight really of what we do on our 3 visits and what you're paying your money for. Okay, if you've got any questions, please give us a call on 0121 364 7000. I'm Ian Sharp, thank you.